Hmm? Ah!
You're listening to the Run for Your Lives podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And this is the Run for Your Lives podcast.
This episode, we are talking about the political action horror film The Purge: Election Year, written and directed by James DeMonaco and released July 1st, 2016. So, over 10 years ago at this point.
It's kind of crazy. And you know what? This is my favorite one. When I watched it tonight, I really love the second one too, but this one is my favorite, I think, out of the whole franchise. It's number 3 in the release order and number 4 if you look chronologically as far as the timeline.
Yeah.
Not considering the TV series, of which there were 2 seasons. Yeah, it's my favorite. There's just, I think, a lot in it that especially hits home. I didn't realize how much it was going to hit home until rewatching it now and then remembering the timing of when it came out. It was just before the elections in 2016, and yeah, it hits in multiple places.
Yeah, and still today.
Yeah.
It's very apropos. Yeah, we usually don't do too. I mean, we we dabble. We play around with some political commentary, but you did say political action horror movie, so I think you can't do this one justice without. We'll get there a little bit more than we usually do on our episodes. So if you're not happy with that, listen to next week. Enjoy that.
Yeah. If you can't see connections that we may or may not talk about, then maybe skip this episode this week. Next week we'll be back with a new episode. Maybe you'll enjoy that more. I agree with you. I don't think that we can really cover this movie without talking about some of the similarities to some of the things that are going on. And it's not even about naming names. It's really just about things that are actually happening and situations that you can't really ignore. So, there are just similar themes along the way. Yeah. And when I started watching this movie tonight, just before we recorded, it's like, yep, it's time to check in with our friends at the NFFA once again. And this is the 4th movie chronologically. There's only one more. There is a final 6th movie that may or may not happen. DeMonaco really wants to do it. They've talked about it involving Leo Barnes. But there's no real timeline or plan for it right now. So sometimes with the Purge movies, it's very much a surprise where you just find out a month before, oh yeah, there's a new Purge movie coming out on Halloween, or oh yeah, they're releasing a new one this summer, and okay. It just happens. It materializes. And so I usually will go see them in the theater. I did not see the last one, The Forever Purge. I did not see that in the theater. That's the only one I didn't see in the theater. The rest I've seen, all of them there. Because this is a franchise that I really, really like.
Yes.
Especially this movie, because I feel like it doesn't hold back in punching you in the face with the things that are happening. And the similarities, and I like that. I like that it's being honest about things and kind of foreshadowing stuff that it's kind of interesting. It was foretelling some things, so yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of good things to say about it, and some not. I'll get the stuff out of the way. No, because you're talking about, because there are a lot of great things in these movies, especially this one. Political and social commentary is important, and it's always done pretty well. Good acting is not a prerequisite or a guaranteed feature of these films, apparently.
No.
But that's
No. No, but it did have a decent cast. I mean,
yeah.
the cast was decent. Again, I know that it's not perfect, but I really love the Purge series, and even if I don't always love everything about every movie, there are things that I really like about the fact that it does hit you in the face with stuff, and it doesn't hold back, and I appreciate that, because I feel like we're living in a time where people, in general, some folks, not everyone, but some folks do try to stay away from the news or not really pay as much attention to what's going on. And I feel like you need to be hit in the face with some things to realize what's really happening for people out there. May not be happening to you, but shit's happening to people.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before they deal with one subset of people at a time, and then it's going to get to you. So, and you can think that that's a bit wild, and that will never happen. There have been things that have happened in the last probably 10 years that I never thought I would see in my lifetime that I have seen. And so I live in this mindset of, you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's, appreciate what you have today and enjoy your life, because you don't know what's going to happen next. And these movies are meant to be an escape from things, but sometimes there are movies that are hitting close to home.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do this the way we always do. It was filmed in Woonsocket and Providence, Rhode Island. It makes me now want to go down and find these places, because I'm not that far from Rhode Island. I feel like a New England movie site trip is in order. Between the TV shows and movies that have been filmed up here, there's a lot of places to go check out. So I feel like it would be cool. Maybe go check out some Jaws places too.
Mm-hmm.
Could be tons of fun. So this, as I said, is the third film in the Purge franchise. It is the last one in the franchise that's directed by James DeMonaco. And I want to say that is, to me, obvious between this one and the other two that came out after, which is the first Purge and the Forever Purge. James DeMonaco has a certain vibe in his films, and I think there's a difference between the ones he directed and the others. The budget for this one, $10 million, which is still relatively small. The gross for this one is $118.6 million. So at this point, people are still loving the Purge series because they keep going to the theater. It's 110 minutes long. That is how long the movie I'm going to see tomorrow night is, because I'm going to see The End of Oak Street. It's 110 minutes long.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it in 2 days.
Right.
And then we'll get together and not talk about it, because we'll cover it sometime in the future. So
that's the hard part of doing a podcast, especially with someone that you love talking about movies with, because you can't really talk about it. We don't talk about a movie at all until we podcast.
Yeah, even the ones we've seen in theaters together. We will finish it and we're like, okay, and then we just go find something else to do, and we don't discuss the movie. It's a little crazy.
It's what we do, though. We talk about other movies, but not movies like this that we're going to cover. We like to keep everything fresh.
Yeah.
And with that, Pake, could you bring us a synopsis on this one?
Senator Charlie Roan and her head of security, Leo Barnes, must survive an annual night of terror where all crime is legal. Kind of like all the other Purge movies.
Yep. Not much different. We do get the return of Leo Barnes, who wasn't known as Leo in the first movie, although I'm pretty sure when we recorded on it, I called him Leo the entire time.
Yeah, I think when we did The Purge, you kept referring to the stranger as Dante Bishop, even though he's not named until this movie as well.
I know. I don't care. I love the series. I know who they are. I'm not going to pretend I don't. I love that we got Dante Bishop back in this movie. And he's powerful, probably driven by a lot of the experience that happened to him. He's fiercely against the Purge and wants to shut it all down. So we get to see more of that. I liked that. That was one of the highlights for me.
Yeah.
But this movie, would you say it's more of a Charlie movie or a Leo movie? Because I feel like it's Charlie and Leo.
Tried to separate them and then couldn't, and so now they are both in the same section. At least it's not. At least I didn't just not touch my notes like I have been doing a lot lately with movies. I did break it up, but it's like in pockets. It's in groups. As I did more groupings because I have Leo and Roan together, and then I have like Joe, Marcos, and Lainey all into one. Dante gets his own section. It's just
As
a
he
few
should.
notes. But it's also, I mean, but it, also his whole organization and his like people is his men that are with him is within that. And then honestly, as always, the one that I have the most notes in probably is just kind of NFFA and purgers and things we see going on, which I have a lot of thoughts about. Go figure.
Yeah. When we talk about the NFFA, I also have notes about them, mostly about how they're characterized.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have some notes that I took that some of them might make it into the final edit of this podcast. We'll see.
Yeah, they might. I mean, it depends on how far we go, what tangent or rant we go on with it. So, I mean, things are fair game, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to answer your question, it was like, which one should we start with? Both, because they're both combined for me. Because as head of security, he's by her side at all times, except for that like third act where she gets kidnapped and then he has to make his way back to her. But other than that, he is attached to the hip to Charlie Roan the whole time anyway, and he kind of has to be.
Yeah. I want to start out by saying I really like the character of Charlie Roan. I like that she didn't want to compromise her principles and beliefs, even though I'm sure it drove Leo crazy so many times. But she had a way that she wanted to do things, and she wasn't afraid to speak up or butt heads with him about stuff. And I kind of like that because I think sometimes in these movies, it can be directed in one way and there's no one really talking about the other side of it or trying to diffuse a situation. They're just kind of going along for whatever the person wants to do. And so I appreciate when someone is strong enough to be able to speak up. I also think she and Dante had this shared perspective of being victims in the Purge.
Yeah. It's an interesting story to have, like, her background. I kind of wish they would have just told that versus showing it, because that opening of the movie is, what happened to her. The whole monologue is just awkward and cringy. Here's my Purge playlist. And I'm like, this is dumb. This is how we're starting? Because I've not seen this one. I'd only seen the original Purge before we started doing these. So I was like, oh God, what are we... Is this movie really bad? Is that what I'm about to get into? Luckily, no. It gets much better past that opening scene. But I was like, I just have to clear that one out of my brain and forget that happened, please. And then I can enjoy the rest of this movie. The editing was weird. The filming was weird. The actor who played the guy who killed her family was awful.
Yeah, I don't know who played the part. I will say that he seemed so much like an over-the-top cartoon villain.
It's like, I'm having Skeletor flashbacks. Help!
Yeah. There has to be one in every movie, Pake. Come on. Yeah, it was very over-the-top. And I've seen similar type scenes or dramatizations take place in the Saw franchise that were done much better.
Yeah.
Like families hostage situations. Like, I've seen that in other Saw movies, and it's been done much better than what we saw in this one.
Yeah, there's always like a level of cheese, of kitsch to these movies that's kind of like, I don't know, where it's like, it's trying to be real dark and edgy and scary, and it's like, nah, it's just kind of silly. Like, it's...
Yeah. I mean, I could sense the terror in the family that was sitting there, but it was also like, are you scared because he's going to kill you, or scared because you have to listen to the monologue? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of too much, honestly. Yeah. Rewatching it today, I'm like, man, I remember when I saw it in the theater, and I've seen this movie a bunch of times. It never hit quite like it did today when I watched it, and I was just kind of like, this is really cringy. Mm-hmm. It's not,
because you're looking at it through this. You knew I was going to say something.
I knew you were going to say something. Yeah. There's another part that I'm sure we'll talk about, which is the folks coming in from outside the country to participate. And I'm sure you probably have some things to say about that, because I thought that was also very cringe. Mm-hmm. The murder tourists, they called them. I'm like, oh, man. And then we see them later.
That would happen. Yeah.
We see them later on, and
it's like we see like these like South African guys in the airport, and then when it's the actual scene, they're all Russians.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about, because I think it was mostly the same people, but I'm not 100% sure. Mm-hmm. Like, they all had masks on. Yeah. So it was very over the top, and you knew they were going to make an appearance. Again, we really didn't get the opening like some of the other movies where we got like a flashback or a flash to different purge nights in different places, because that we were able to see, I know, in at least one of the other movies. I feel like it was in a few of them, but where they showed footage of stuff. That was not in this. I feel like this one did have a little bit different vibe. Yeah. From the first two, but I also feel like each one had a different vibe. But 2 and 3 I thought were more similar than what I actually think they are now. Like, after watching this one, it's like, yeah, no, I don't think they're as similar as I thought that they were. But yeah, our introduction to Charlie is a very cringy scene at the beginning where her family is getting murdered and only one of them survives.
Yeah, which they never talk about, like, what she carries from that, because in that monologue that I was forced to have to listen to, he ends that with just like, it's time for mommy or mother chooses, and it's like, you get to choose which one lives. So obviously she chose herself and let the rest of her family die. So they don't talk about that part of her at all.
Well, mommy chooses. I think her mother chose, not her.
Would that like have
Charlie?
Been...
Charlie didn't choose.
She was the daughter.
Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because how long did it say that like how much time had gone by?
Like, I think 20 years.
Okay,
18 to 20 years. Yeah.
So I did check out a little bit because I was thinking
you did. You couldn't handle it. You were not in the vibe.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, she didn't seem to be that much older. Yeah, so I'll go with that. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than if it was her mother sacrificed herself and her father and her brother so that she lived. Which, that's also, there's some guilt. It's like, you picked me over my brother. That's a little fucked up.
It's very Sophie's choice. Yeah. Honestly, it's.
How did you choose between your kids, Mom?
Man. And they show you the photo of the family like multiple times, so you see they were a happy family together, and then it's just her.
Came down to like, well, our job as parents, we have to be the ones to lay down our lives for our kids, but I can only pick one of you, and
yeah,
Richie, you didn't clean your room, so
yeah,
you know,
I don't know.
It's got to be Charlie. I don't know.
I don't know.
I told you last week, and you didn't do it, so you know, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know because the brother could have sacrificed himself anyway. Like, we don't really know how it played out because instead of showing us the agonizing part of it, we saw the monologue. Which
we saw the other agonizing part of it.
I didn't need the monologue. I didn't need it. The guy was cringe. And now, Pake, I have to go find out who actually played the part because I wonder if he's ever been in another thing.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was just like some random voiceover because the guy was wearing a mask, so you don't even... There's just some guy who's filmed, and then it was a dubbed-in voiceover from who knows who after.
Yeah. There's so many people that are, like, credited as drab-suited man number 1, drab-suited man number 2. Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, yeah. Oh, yeah, they've got people in here. South African male... enormous gang member. I mean, I axe-headed man, masked man. I don't know if that's him. He's
might be.
Yeah, crazy man, man with the bullhorn, demonic man. I think. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. It doesn't really say, so I'm not really sure who it was. All I know is he probably wasn't in anything else that we've ever seen.
Probably not.
No. And if he was, he wasn't delivering a monologue like that. Do you suppose he watches this or he's seen it and thought, oh my God, this was horrible? I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
Or he shows it to his family every holiday season. Look at my star-studded performance. Look, check this out. Look. I'm so proud.
Oh, man.
We don't have the heart to tell him. He's so proud of himself. Shows it to us every Thanksgiving. I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Oh, man. So Charlie decides to dedicate herself to politics, to shutting down the Purge, and she starts right away. Like, as after the incident, she dedicates her life to this. And so we see her later, 20 years later, and she is running for president. And she is giving the NFFA the what for and causing issues for them because the common working person is seeing that she's right. And they're tired of things. Because as Dante Bishop tells us at the beginning, the NFFA is lining its pockets with money and...
They're just getting tired of the NFFA party. And they...
It's interesting that you're calling it the I would call it something else. Because I think there's another party we have in this country that has 4 letters in its name. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, but so NFFA's got Minister Owens running, and he shows them debating and all this stuff, and it's like, he's just awful. And her words are sinking in, and that she's gaining traction, and she's got them afraid. We get like leader Caleb. Who's so upset about that. And he's got a very familiar speech pattern. I can't quite place it who he was sounding a lot like. If only I could grab it. I don't know. It's a very, very big, very important, the best and most important man in the whole, most best and important voice that he sounded like. I know it, you know it, everyone knows it, but I can't remember what it is. Okay.
He definitely seems impacted by Charlie's growing popularity, and I don't know if it's because she's against the NFFA or because she's a woman.
Both. Porque no lo sos.
You're right, though. They don't dive into how everything that happened to Charlie impacts her, because they don't really talk about the actual things that happened or what the aftermath or what any of that. We just know that it did impact her. If this were a different movie, it could have been really interesting. Like I mentioned, her and Dante talking about the trauma of going through being a purge victim and what that can do to you mentally and emotionally. Because as we said, Dante Bishop is the stranger from the Purge 1. His role in this is honestly what you would hope. I guess you would hope. I don't know. Maybe that's a strong word, but vigilantism, he's trying to help people. Mm-hmm. Yes, he has a mission, but he also is trying to help people, and we'll talk about that. But the NFFA determines that their best way to eliminate their enemies is to take away level 10 exemption from the Purge.
Yeah, how that backfires, which I love.
But
they revoke this protection for government officials, which, and they say it's like, well, it's out of fairness, that we're all equal. And it's like, sure, no, it's so you can eliminate Senator Roan because she's the biggest threat right now, and you need that excuse, you need that way to do that. And
it was all their enemies. Like, they were looking at her, but they also were looking at Dante. They were looking at anyone who's been standing up against them in any way. They wanted to take them out, and they brought in white supremacists with that idea in mind. Mm-hmm. And they were going to use government troops as well to eliminate everyone. But the biggest one on the table is Charlie.
Wait, U.S. government hiring actual Nazis to threaten and kill civilians to further their own gains? That's some crazy fiction. Wow, how absolutely unimaginable that is.
We live in a very strange time. That's all I'm going to say.
Who came up with such a crazy thing that could never happen?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Charlie, she's gotten way too close. She's polling very well. There's a chance she could win. You know that the root of the evil in these movies, one of the biggest roots of evil is basically money, and people who have money using it to buy what they want. Like victims to kill in the Purge, like they might pay someone, like we saw in the last movie, where they paid the grandfather to be killed, and he gave the money to his daughter. So these are the types of things that we, have seen. And so, of course, someone's going to turn and be on the side of the NFFA, or they're going to be a plant. Who knows? They don't really talk about it. But we start off 20 years later. Charlie is refusing to leave. She wants to stay in her home.
Yep.
She doesn't want the public to see her as someone who runs and hides.
And Grillo's back.
Back.
Leo Barnes. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, she wants to send this message to the people that I'm not going to be like them and be the rich and powerful and hide away in some super secret lockdown compound. I'm just
or
gonna
a
stay
catering
home.
truck.
Yeah. I'm going to stay at home in my house on Purge night. And it's it's kind of this little message of I'm of the people, with the people, we're in this together. Which, Barnes is not a great fan of that plan because he knows, and she probably knows as well, she's number one target. She's the biggest target of the night right now.
Absolutely. And it doesn't change her mind. She continues to she decides I'm staying here. And so Leo does everything he can to keep her safe, including his backup plan, which no one knew about, which I loved, because I'm thinking.
She had a hole in her floor leading to the room downstairs and didn't ever notice it or know about it.
No. Evidently not. It was under a carpet. Out of sight, out of mind, Pake.
Yeah, and then it went into, like, not into the closet, but in front of the closet in the room downstairs. It's like, did she not just go into that room and look up?
Yeah, I don't know. He put it in earlier that day, Pake.
Okay, sure.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a movie. It's an escape. And literally, it's an escape from the room they were in. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, like holding her down in her own home as a safe house doesn't last long.
No. You didn't think it would, did you?
I mean, I figured something would go wrong. People would, like, force their way in. It actually did kind of catch me as a surprise that Chief Cooper and Eric were the inside men for the NFFA. I was like, oh, the betrayal. They had inside people working there with Leo, that he fell for it. And then...
He did, but he didn't trust everyone 100% because he did have the escape hatch.
Yeah, he had the plan.
I mean...
Escape, get out. He does get clipped, but he's okay. He's okay, folks. Kinda. Mostly-ish.
Can we just talk about Elizabeth Mitchell going down the escape hatch? And it just made me think, oh yeah, she was on Lost and she's going through an escape hatch. And there was a hatch in Lost. Okay. Mm-hmm. It all started to tie together.
Yeah. He was okay, but then it wasn't a kill shot because that's the whole thing is they were tracking him. I mean, first he thinks they're being tracked by this, like, drone following him around, which is just like other purgers. Which it also is tracking him, but it's like, yeah, that's the lady trying to take the purge away from us. Like, of course they don't like her.
No, we don't want that. Because there are people who believe in the purge and they want to do it. There are people that come from out of the country to come into the U.S. To purge. So why would they want the purge to be taken away? Of course they don't. But then there are people who understand how wrong it is and want it to end. And those are the people that are growing in numbers year after year. And I think a lot of it was the impoverished who were the ones that things were being taken away from. Yeah.
Well, that's like the whole point. Yeah, we've talked about in the previous movies. It's like they can dress it up in whatever they want, but that's like the baseline is we're tired of paying money to take care of people. So the people who are poor and the minorities and the immigrants and the people that we should be investing in, what if we just make sure they all get killed and then we don't have to take care of them? We don't have to spend any money on them or worry about them anymore.
It's the mindset of the people in power in this movie. And take a look at them and draw your own conclusion. That's all I'm going to say.
But yeah, they're out and about trying to survive now that they're out of the house. Come across just a bunch of clowns, literally. What a bunch of clowns. They took them out, dispatched them pretty easily, but they were distraction enough that evil Uncle Sam and Lady Liberty got the jump on them. And then, yeah, that's where we get just the bunch of Russians in kitschy American history costumes.
Oh my god.
Which then reveals that apparently Joe is John Wick. So
he is. He's John Wick.
He just comes in, blah, 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 blah. We got you. What? Where did that come from?
And you know what? If you recognize that actor, I mean, I would hope that you've seen Forrest Gump. He was the mastermind behind Bubba Gump Shrimp, I believe. Or involved. Yeah. Michael T. Williamson played the role of Joe. And yeah, he was in Forrest Gump.
Joe was great.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked most of the characters. There were some that were way over the top for me. That was one of the things I don't like about this movie is some of the characters that were too over the top.
Yeah. There was some good casting. So you mentioned like Joe, where he came from, and then you even mentioned like Elizabeth Mitchell. Really the ones that I focused on that I was like, was the EMS drivers, our triage drivers. Of course, Lainey is Betty Gabriel. And I was like, I know her from somewhere.
Yes.
And then it was like, of course, that is Georgina from Get Out.
Get Out.
Yes. Although this was before that, just a little bit before that.
It was.
And then her EMS partner in the shotgun there, Dawn, who is played by Liza Colon Reyes, who is Tina from The Bear, which I got very excited seeing her. And I was like, well, now if Lainey asks her to do something, I'm just going to keep expecting her to say, yes, Jeff. And she didn't.
No. No, but you know what? They were out doing good things because even though the hospital was closed down, they were still out collecting people and helping take care of them. And it gave them some exclusion from being attacked. It's kind of an unwritten rule that people leave them alone because they're out there helping or saving people, even though I think that's the opposite of what people want to happen during the purge, but they do tend to leave them alone unless they have a senator in the vehicle and she's running for president and going to kick the ass of the NFFA, and then all bets are off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Joe comes guns blazing, John Wicks them, saves them, brings them into the shop. And it's like, okay, cool. Now the senator's got a place to lay low. Get Leo patched up from his gunshot wound. Everything's fine. Oh, nope. Sparkle Squad is back. We got to deal with them.
Oh, man. Kimmy. The devil bride who wants her candy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, my God.
That was...
She's so over the top.
Very, very interesting. They're the shoplifter girls from earlier in the movie. It's like, of course, they come back with some friends and a lit-up party car with their bedazzled weapons and pure insanity. She mentions she already killed her parents, and so now she wants to kill Joe and Marcos so she can get her Snickers bar that she tried to steal earlier. She seems like a totally normal, sweet girl, not unhinged in any way at all. Perfectly normal.
No. And partying to some weird version of Party in the USA, which I don't believe was Miley Cyrus. I think it was a Muzak version of it. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
She goes away and comes back with a rather large saw and a teddy bear.
Mm-hmm. It's like a guy in a pig costume with a pacifier. I don't know.
It was weird.
A whole thing. Sparkle Squad.
I love that you call it the Sparkle Squad. I think it's great.
But I was like, if only those dummies knew who was in there. They're not ready for Leo Barnes. And then,
nope.
Fortunately for them, I guess they never had to worry about him because they're not really much of an issue once Lainey comes rolling through with the van.
Rolling. That was so good. I cheered when she ran over Kimmy. That was fantastic.
Yeah. It's like Lainey was her hero. She told her that, but she didn't last long enough once she's against Pequeña Muerte. I can't say it. Pequeña Muerte. There it is. Try to say it too fast.
Yeah. Lainey has a past. Also, Joe has a past. And we learn only tiny bits of their past. We don't really get a look into it any deeper than what is necessary to continue the story going forward.
Yeah. So they get, all of that. If we're staying with Leo and Charlie, then I skip a lot of important stuff, but.
Yeah, I think we'll stay with Leo and Charlie and we'll circle back.
We'll circle back, just like Lainey in the van. Yeah, because, I mean, let's say, they in the van, there's a lot of stuff that happens, but they meet Dante, they get to his base, and through that, they learn what Dante's plan is. This assassination, a plan. They found out where this purge mass with all of the NFFA, top-ranking people is going to be. And they're going to go in and take out Minister Owens. And Charlie's not happy with that plan because she says, I want to win this the right way. We're not going to make him a martyr.
Which makes sense if you think about it. But also, I feel like one of Dante's henchmen said they're not playing fair.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, it's like, doesn't want to have him martyred. And then it's like, well, then then the voters might, see that as like, I had something to do with that. And then like, actually I'm bad. And then like, he's in the right. And then they're going to vote. And Dante has this thing. It's just like, we're not going to trust the voters to do the right thing. We're going to handle it. And I was like, you know what? I have firsthand seen that he does have a good point, that I've seen what voters are capable of. So he's not wrong.
No, he isn't wrong, because you know what? People are human and sometimes they get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And they get it wrong because they think they're right. Everyone thinks they're right. But there are levels of right. And when people are suffering because of it, I don't know how right you're being, or right you were
right.
when people are suffering. I mean, really.
Yeah. But with that plan, and then we have more, Leo and Charlie kind of heading out, because now she's got this idea like she needs to stop this. Is not okay with that part, which then leads to her being kidnapped by Nazis. Wonderful.
Because, as was said, they're not playing fair.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play fair. And even though she's trying to do the right thing, they're not trying to do the right thing. They will do to her what Dante wants to do to the minister.
Yeah.
There's the difference. I mean, she's trying to do the right thing, but that's not how they're operating.
Yeah. But I do then like Leo catching up with Dante and his men before they go into the church tunnels with that, like, it's no longer an assassination, it's a rescue mission.
Yeah, because it is.
Good. Yeah. And I like also another line that I really like is it's Angel, I think, is one of Dante's guys.
Angel's
when they're talking about the tunnels and stuff, whereas like these tunnels were built back by like George George Washington and stuff is like, and then they've kind of got around, but we've reopened them, and like these guys don't even know that they're there. They don't know their history, and so it's like the original founding fathers are going to help us fuck over the new founding fathers, which I think is really.
I love that.
It's fun, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, Angel is the one who told her that they're not being fair. Like, they don't play fair. We can't think that they're going to play fair. So we have to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that reminds me of some of the decisions that I think have come out, during the last administration. You can't wait around thinking that everyone is going to do what the right thing is. You have to look at it proactively and think about the future and protecting people, mm-hmm. and not be just expecting that everyone is going to do the right thing, because we've seen too many times that's not what's happening.
Right. Yeah. But in the end, Charlie does get through to Dante. We have the whole thing at the church that they wait till the absolute last second to free her, which it's a movie. Got to be that way. Got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of open season on the NFFA because they revoked the, rules that they can't be harmed. So, haha on them.
Yep.
But they have Owens, but again, Charlie kind of gets through to him, and, killing Owens makes him no better than he is. And, that makes him a martyr. And instead, we get to this place, he gets to live while his deeds are brought to the surface. And she wants to win the election that way, and the right way, to where people see, like, no, I brought justice to this situation, whereas he would have done the exact opposite. And it works out. I don't know why they decided to then have a presidential election in May, but,
I don't know. Again,
I don't know why.
This is later. I think the timeline is like 2040, I want to say, is the year.
It was like 2 months later in May, and I was like, because I figured we would jump. I figured we were going to jump to the election, and then it was like
nope.
May. 2 months later, I was like, oh no, they're going to fill in a whole bunch of gaps, and then they're at the voting booths, and I was like, that's not the time that happens.
No. But again, this is dystopian America, so we don't really know. And I think the timeline for this movie. Again, this movie takes place in 2040 in the timeline. So maybe things had changed. I mean, who knows what's going to be happening in 14 more years, Pake? Who even knows?
We're going to make it to that?
I don't know.
We'll see.
1 year, 1 day at a time.
But yeah, that's kind of where we end this, is her winning the election, and then the purge is done, is no more.
Yeah.
And,
I thought that was a great way to end the whole series, and I think that was the idea. And then they did the first Purge movie, which I thought, okay, this is good. We'll see, like, kind of how it got started.
Yeah.
But then they did the Forever Purge,
which I know nothing about, so I don't know how that, what sets that off and what happens. But even without that, like, I do like that they ended it on, like, not the most positive note, because, like, she's elected, executive action, the purge is eliminated, is no more. And then immediately, like, they end the movie with, like, news reports of, like, and people are pissed off about that. And now there's rioting in the streets and all this stuff because there's like, oh, we can't purge on a certain day, then we're just going to do it now. And then it's like, there was a lot of people who had their whole personality and life tied into that. So.
Yeah. Reminds me of some other things that have happened in, the last 5 years. So, I mean, sometimes people react that way.
Yeah. And purge is gone, but that doesn't mean peace.
Nope, it doesn't. And sometimes, you get what you think you want, and it causes a whole other can of worms. And you have to deal with that. And that can be really tricky.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a part of the country that's angry about one thing, and then things actually change, you're still going to have a part of the country on the other side of it that's mad about things and going to rise up.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to manage the expectations of two groups that are so divided.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to manage two opposing sides that are so deeply entrenched in their beliefs and what they believe is true. And so we'll get to the Forever Purge.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It actually, honestly, Pake, if this one connects to things, Forever Purge, absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll get to it. I mean, we'll finish out the series. Why not? There's one left. Of course we're going to do it.
I know. We're getting closer. I feel like we're getting closer and closer to finishing a couple of series so we can start maybe some new ones.
Mm-hmm.
So probably before the end of the season, we might cover it just to finish up the whole series.
Kind of like we just speed run the last two Insidious. Like, we'll get it wrapped up. We're done.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. But we have another Insidious that's coming. Like, we're getting another one this month, I think. Mm-hmm. I think it's this month.
Yeah,
so
very soon.
It's coming. One thing I want to mention about the church, when they were in the church rescuing her, and they shoot down all the guys, and then this other group just comes up and gets behind the pews. It just gave me such video game vibes. Like, I don't know. It did. It gave me the vibe of, okay, we've taken care of one group. Now here comes, your princess. Before the princess is in another castle, you've got... Basically, yes, the princess is in another castle. You've got to shoot down these people, too.
Yep.
And whoever else that's around.
Yeah, so I think, we've got the kind of main characters out of the way, and that said some of our favorite side ones. We've talked about a little bit, Joe and Lainey and Marcus a little bit, which they were really highlighting Joe very early on. So I was like, well, obviously he's going to be important. There's a storyline here. He's the owner of the deli and the convenience store. His insurance gets basically dropped because they're like, pay us way more or we don't have any. And so he's just terrified. He's like, I can't pay that. And now I'm going to lose this place. And that's all I have. So that's what leads him to staying at the shop to be there when Charlie and Leo roll around. And then of course he's tied in with Lainey as well. Just kind of, she's been going to that store since she was a kid. So she knows him well. And then Marcos talks about, he's an immigrant.
Yes.
From Mexico that has been living there and working there for 8 years, legal now as a citizen for 2. And so, and then the conversations that they have where it's like, he kind of, this will be yours one day. Kind of found somebody to pass it on to. And then in the end he does, which
was foreshadowing.
Marco's kind of inheriting the deli and he's fixing it all up at the end, which was nice. But yeah, so that's where we see them. Lainey, again, we get, no emergency services. We've known that about the Purge since day one. But she's part of this team, her and Dawn, and there's other people that do it, that they're like rogue EMS, basically. It's very brave and very honorable. And Charlie has that conversation with us, like, the things that you do, it's incredible to go out there and put yourself out into that.
Yeah, but she did say that it's kind of an unwritten rule that people leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
She and Dawn take people to Dante's underground medical facility where people have volunteered to come in and treat the wounded and injured.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that are brought in are the homeless.
Yeah, even if they're not injured or anything, like the homeless population of DC knows about this place because it is their safe haven, because he says, like, those are the people that are in the most danger because they don't have a place to hide.
Exactly.
And it's not only they're the most danger, but that's the reason the Purge exists, is that's the target that the NFFA is after, is get rid of the homeless people, get rid of the people that are a scourge on society or whatever that we have to pay for and take care of. And so Dante is, well, no, now I'm giving them a place to ride it out.
I know. He's kind of, in some ways, Robin Hood, but not robbing the rich to pay the poor. He's just really protecting them.
Yeah, taking care of them, protecting them, and even fighting back on their behalf. I mean, they're like guerrilla soldiers, warfare out there, taking out the NFFA, government people that get involved. They're like, okay, you want to come out here? Welcome to the game. And
the NFFA has a history way back in the first Purge where they either hire mercenaries or the government gets involved and participates in eliminating the people that they want to eliminate. And so this is something that they have done this whole time. Like every movie so far that we've covered, it's been something that has taken place, except maybe in The Purge, the original first movie. We don't really see a lot of that. It's mostly like a home invasion type situation. But in the other movies, we see more of what the NFFA does and how they think and operate, and how they'll do whatever they have to get things to be the way they want them, which is they have everything and everyone else has nothing. And it's one of the things that the lead guy in the NFFA says, where he says they, meaning people, want the impossible. They want everyone to have. Some cannot have. Not enough to go around. Well, the problem is...
well, not if you're hoarding literally everything.
Exactly.
Of course not. Yeah.
It's, you have way more than you need, and you're hoarding it.
Exactly what we see now. And I don't think, it's incredibly political, but it's not even pointing fingers. I mean, I will 100% point fingers at Trump and his administration. But when the Democrats are in office, they do it too.
Yeah.
And where the people that benefit from things are the friends and the other rich and powerful, while the ones who actually need are overlooked. And it's like, well, I'm doing what's best for people. And by people, I mean the people I know, and give me money.
Exactly. They take from the people who don't have it to give to the people who have way more than they know what to do with. And then complain that they don't have enough.
Right.
Still. I don't know. I mean, there's so many roads I could go down. Last week I was at a funeral. You would not think that this would be the case, but I had so many sidebar conversations about people and taking care of each other and religion and common decency and common sense. And I left that situation feeling completely drained, but also like, oh, wow, those were some really deep conversations that I'm glad that I was able to have, because they were adult, smart, like factual conversations.
Yeah.
Instead of the same gloss it over stuff that I see.
Be nice if we could fund taking care of American citizens who need it instead of cough, cough, genocide, cough, cough. But, you know, you know.
Oh, man.
What can you do?
No,
right?
That's not how it works.
Anyway, back to the movie. Let's talk about fiction and not real.
No, we don't want to talk about real life.
Oh,
Nick.
God. Yeah. But yeah, they're in the shop for a little bit. Some way of a place to stay, but yeah, not for too long. We've talked about what goes on there. Which then Joe doesn't want to leave it behind, but like Marcos kind of makes a good point. It's like if you save the possible future president, then I'm sure she'll help you rebuild your shop.
Yeah.
Like, you're good. Let's go.
But I think it was better for him to say, I will help you rebuild this. He was invested in that with Joe. And I think given their relationship and how Joe has always been there for him, I think the reciprocal nature of him saying that back to him, where I will help you rebuild, we will rebuild this together, we will do this. I think it brought their relationship kind of full circle because Marcos was not even supposed to be there. He ended up there out of loyalty to Joe because in the event that his premiums for insurance went up by thousands, Joe was there to defend his deli.
Yeah.
And Marcos came to back him up in it. And I think that, too, was a really big statement in their relationship.
Yeah.
Because there's a loyalty there. And Marcos is a hard worker. And the fact that Joe was looking to him as someone that could take over the deli when it's time for him to stop, that says a lot. Because I think he looked at him like a son. And it's a relationship that developed over time. And so I think Marcos taking care of the deli after and rebuilding and doing all of the things that he was doing with it is exactly what Joe would have wanted. And Joe would have had pride in that, knowing that Marcos did that, continued that dream, while Joe had the opportunity to help Marcos have an American dream.
Yeah.
At the same time. I wish people would be that way. Like, why can't we help our neighbors and be more supportive and be a community? Like, that's my question to our listeners. If you're still with us, let's all try to be a better community for each other. Even though I'm pretty sure we're all doing everything we can. Let's just really keep that in our hearts.
Yeah, so they leave the shop, everybody's out, on this kind of same mission. And then because of the tracker bullet in Leo that NFFA and their Nazis, literal Nazis, are after them.
I mean, he had the Nazi symbol on his neck that the lead guy, which...
I mean, all these tattoos. He's got the swastika on his neck and the SS on his face and more stuff, the Iron Cross and all that stuff.
It was kind of a shock to my system to see Terry Serpico playing the part of Earl Danziger because I saw him on Army Wives. Like, he was one of the husbands on the Army Wives show. And this was like the complete opposite of his character on Army Wives. The crazy thing is, the guy who played Marcos, Joseph Julian Soria, he was also on Army Wives too. So it's like, this is interesting to have them both in this movie. But yeah, it was a lot. The character of Danziger we saw him enough, but the tattoos, again, as soon as he took the mask off.
Even before that, when they walked in, it was like, a bunch of dudes in uniforms and masks rolling up. He's got white power patch on the back of his. I was like, look, it's ICE. Wait, no, these evil killers are at least actually capable and talented at their bad deeds that only benefit the rich and powerful at the expense of minorities and immigrants.
Oh my God.
or something,
or something.
Or whatever. But yeah, so they find the van and track them down and shoot at that, which again has this kind of weird moment. This Jesus Christ, Rondo's dead, and I was like, wow, that was the most nonchalant, dry delivery imaginable for that. You might as well have just said Rondo's dead. Oh well.
I mean, and Rondo up until that point was talking about who are these people, what's going on, and she had handcuffed him because she didn't want him going out purging again. I'm like, yeah, but then he couldn't move, so he ended up dead.
Yeah. But the way she responded is like, it was almost like she just went like, oh, they shot Rondo. Anyway.
Yeah, no big deal.
Where were we?
They shot the red shirt.
Yeah. And then they pull up to the Swords and Axes Fight Club, which, that's something.
That was something. That whole thing, oh my God. It was like a fight to the death club.
Yeah. But Joe's able to kind of quell them with... I guess he's got some gang past of his own, which
Crips.
Interesting.
Crips.
Yeah. And then he helps them, and they help them with an injured gang member there, in return for them cornering and taking out a couple of Purge ice.
Yes. Yeah. They were there, and then they weren't.
And then they get to Dante's, and we've talked a lot about Dante's stuff. And then after they get settled, and then it was just like, Joe's like, oh, I got to go back to the shop. I'm walking. And Lainey's like, I'll drive you. And I was like, Lainey's going to drive Joe and Marcos back to the deli while Nazis are hunting for their van? I don't like that. That's not good. I really hate that. No, please.
Is not smart. Not a smart thing. I don't think they abide by the not... Let's stay away from them. Let's not hurt them.
Yeah.
The unwritten rule. I don't think they follow the unwritten rule of staying away from the medical people who are out helping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have their own rules.
And then, we've talked about, they do go out, but then they all wind up back together anyway, due to, everything that happens. And they're all back at the church. Everything kind of goes down the way that it does. Good night, blue cheese. I don't know where that line came from, but he really sure loved that catchphrase, Joe did.
He did.
I don't know. Never heard that in my life.
Me either.
He had some interesting lines.
He did. He was the comic relief that we needed.
And then the church zombie, Harmon, shows up, and R.I.P. Joe. Damn it.
Oh, my God. He was... What the heck? He did look like he was dead. His lips were all chapped.
He could not look more like a literal ghoul.
I don't know why. Like, why? Why was it like that? Like, what was the point?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
But so that was the end of Joe. But then, as we say, Marcos does inherit the deli and is fixing it up at the end of the movie. And so there's hope there. It's good. And then, lastly, Dante, we've talked a lot about and what he's doing. Them coming in and, taking out leader Caleb. That was very nice. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
He basically gave Marcos 2 seconds. He just says rifle, and Marcos is just like,
yeah.
I mean, there's no time.
Mm-hmm. And then, even leaving the church, that should have been a happy ending, except Nazis, which, classic.
Yeah.
So R.I.P. Dante, but also bye-bye Nazi trash. So that's good.
Yes.
Leo takes
Barnes
him out.
strikes again. Yes. I remember when I saw this in the movies, I was so mad that Dante died because he was a thread through the first 3 movies. So it was just, it reminded me of another movie that I'm not going to spoil here, even though it's 35 years old and we haven't covered it yet, but we could. Because if we cover that franchise, I'm pretty sure we will not do the second movie, but we'll do the first and the third. And that's Nightmare on Elm Street. Because the second one was so bad that, no, we're not covering it.
But so lastly, really, the notes that I have is, just like NFFA and Purgers stuff, which we've talked about a lot of it already. throwing some stuff in. Yeah, the murder tourists we talked about. I do like this movie especially. There's a great job, and all of them do, like with just the random Purge visuals while people are driving around. They just like to throw in like the scenes just to see things. You know, early on, because it's like, oh, motherfuckers got guillotines and people strapped to the hood of their car.
Yep.
And the masks are always pretty cool in different ways. We like get to see all kinds of different masks and things in use.
Oh, yeah, because no one wants anyone to know. If there's video evidence of someone killing somebody, they don't want you to know that it was them, even though they're very proud out there wearing their mask doing it. They don't really want people to know that it was actually them.
Yeah. The Lincoln Memorial visual was actually pretty dope. I like that.
Yep.
With Purge on it.
They do a great job with the visuals because it shows you how brutal that everything is. And we got to see through Charlie's eyes all of these horrifying scenes as they're in the van riding around, and she's looking out and seeing some of this stuff and realizing, yes, you knew it was bad, but it's even worse than what you thought it was.
Yeah. And then, of course, with her being kidnapped and taken to Purge Mass, which during the debate with Owens near the beginning of the movie, she even talks about like the Purge Mass. It's like, that's where we'll be. And she's like, oh, the place where you go and do human sacrifice. Like, it's been known about what's going on. And so, of course, when she gets kidnapped and then Leo is like, I know where they're taking her. It's like, well, yeah. She mentions in that debate about them sacrificing people, so she's going to be the sacrifice this year because they're scared of her. Like, yeah, obviously.
And you saw how happy they were when he unveiled her in front of them all. They were all salivating at the excitement of taking her out. And again, it's quite a scene of them sitting in the church with their big old medals on next to their wives. It's like, oh, man. It's like a patriarchy celebration. It was a bit much. I feel like this movie was ahead of its time in some ways, like with showing the lengths that people will go to when they believe they're right and what they're doing is the right thing. Because I feel like things have been going in a really bad direction. I think the NFFA didn't want anyone to dismantle the monarchy that they had built, which is they're in charge and they have everything and no one else should be able to benefit from what they're doing, which is basically starving people and killing them. And they were willing to do whatever it took. And the differences between the two, with Charlie being, no, we need to rescue the minister because if he is murdered, we're no different than they are. And she's right. Watching him beg Dante to shoot him and Dante not doing it was actually pretty cool because it just goes to prove Charlie's point of, no, you don't want to be like them. You don't want to do what they would do. So you can't kill him, even though I know you want to. Someone had referred to the Purge being Halloween for adults. I think it was the guy outside the costume shop. I was like, oh, man.
But Halloween is Halloween for adults.
It is. Oh, my gosh.
There's so many adult Halloween things that happen that you can do.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, the price of playing fair, it doesn't always work. And we talked about that already. And Charlie sticking to her guns and not being willing to compromise, even though Leo wants her to follow his lead, like right from the beginning, and she's just not willing to go that far. Sometimes she speaks up and she's strong. Like, she's not going to just be or do what everyone is telling her to do. She has convictions and morals, and there are lines that she's not willing to cross. And I think that's great, but it doesn't always work. In her case, it did in this movie. But I understand her wanting to do things the way that she wants, the right way, fair and square. But the thing is, in politics, it doesn't always come out that way. Fair and square, it's so complicated. And it can be so difficult that I just don't, I don't know. And again, this movie came out before we had the January 6th situation.
Well before.
So, again, I feel like there's a little foreshadowing in it. And people that are listening may not agree with me, but I feel like some of this, it's like, man, I just, it seems like too much. And to rewatch it now, it kind of hit me in a lot of ways. I think the last thing that I want to say is, one thing I appreciate about these movies is that each one tackles a different type of situation and are tied to people and different parts of the why things happen this way. And also the focus on those who are less fortunate and on the front lines. Plus a different side of the depravity of how far people go when things are like this. And you can say that, oh no, things don't happen that way. Well, no, not literally the same way. We don't have this exactly like this, but you can see some similarities from what we saw in this movie to different things you hear about happening all over the country.
Yeah.
And beyond. So, yeah. It's this whole survival of the fittest mentality. Like, if you're lucky enough to be wealthy and lucky enough to be healthy and not have any disadvantages, then you're the type of person that they want to survive. So, and I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, it's good. I'm letting you go because I've got nothing else to say. I think I've tapped mine out.
You got nothing else to say?
I got nothing else. No, about
Not
nothing.
a single thing? Nothing. Well, this is just another movie that expands the universe for the Purge. You know, you have to think about it. The first one was about the house and what it's like when you're in that element of people are trying to get into your house to kill you or to kill someone you've rescued. In the second movie, we saw things out on the streets and how hard it is to survive when you're in that situation and what the NFFA and people will do to you in that way, like kidnapping you off the streets, paying for you so that they can kill you in some weird, crazy UFC entertainment mess. And then in this case, we got to see more of the government side of things and how the government plays even more of a role in the Purge activities. I think that's it.
We did it. We made it through.
I'm glad we did this one. I'm glad we did it now. I was kind of in the mindset for it. And I'm looking forward to next week's movie, which I haven't seen before. So we'll tell you about that later.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and there's the feedback phone there. And we will get to that and we'll listen to any of your thoughts, feedback, and hate mail. Hopefully not. All right. We do have one bit of feedback this week, and I'll give anyone one chance to guess who it was. Of course, our reliable friend, Catherine. Always love to see her coming through. So, of course, yeah, I'll read that one. She says, murder tourism. Oof, it's been a few years since I've seen this Purge, and it hit a whole lot harder with our current administration. It was really satisfying to see Kimmy get taken out before she could get to the candy bar, but that was one of the few happier moments.
Oh, man.
While I enjoy the Purge series, I think it has a lot of the same flaws as the Saw series and others that could be considered, quote, torture porn. Each sequel strives to have bigger deaths, crazier characters, and more twists. I'll still watch every sequel, but with lower expectations. It's worth it to see characters like Roan return.
Yes, agreed. Mm-hmm. Well, if you would like to submit feedback, you can find us on the Podcastica Discord server. We have a channel there devoted just to Run for Your Lives podcast. You can send us feedback on Facebook or Instagram at Run for Your Lives Podcast, or you can email us at runforyourlivespodcast@gmail.com. If you're enjoying the show, tell your friends. We are available on all the podcast players, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. As always, you can go to runforyourlivespodcast.com for all the links that you're ever going to need. And give us a review on Apple Podcasts, as that is the best way to share the love and get us out there even more. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, we do. And, of course, speaking of sharing the love, we got to give those shout-outs to the things going on in the Podcastica universe around us and beyond. Lots of great stuff for you to check out this week before our next episode. So, of course, the Walking Dead cast, Ben and Alex, continuing to just go ahead and rock on through Walking Dead Dead City Season 3, so you can continue to check out their coverage over there, with Episode 5 being the most recent one. So, yeah, if you're listening, awesome. If you're not, easy to catch up, go check that out. Of course, Penny and Kara over on Still Slaying have some great Buffyverse stuff as well. They are over on Angel, Season 2, Episode 6 this week. So if you're an Angel fan, Buffy fan, and you haven't checked out Still Slaying yet, absolutely get on that, because they're awesome and they're doing a great job over there. So we'll give that a listen. Of course, our newest podcast on the network, Casting Light, covering the HBO series Lanterns, the DC Lantern series. Jason, Kirk, and Jim doing that over there. Season 2 is out, and you can go check out that coverage on Casting Light. Yellow Jackets, WTF. We talked about it a little bit last week, and then again, so we've still got a ways to go. We do have a date for the new season, the final season, all the way in November, I believe.
Yes, November 20th.
Yeah. Still some stuff going on over there to keep that feed going. So we have Jason, Kara, and Cassie covering the more recent Netflix Lord of the Flies miniseries. It's like 4 episodes. So if you haven't, check that out, and then go listen to their coverage over on the Yellow Jackets WTF feed for that one. And then outside of Podcastica, of course, our good friends over at Pirate Core Entertainment Podcast Network. If you go check out Panels to Pixels podcast, it's a lot of P's over there. Mark and Steve covering Spider Noir, going back and kind of re-looking at the first 4 episodes right now as a whole, and going to check those out and talk about those now that those have been out for a little while. So if you want to relive those, rewatch those, or get somebody's thoughts on those episodes, then go check that out over at Panels to Pixels. And then also on the comic book front, same with Podcastica. If you want more Lanterns coverage, definitely go check out our friends at TV Podcast Industries, as they're covering that series over there as well. So you can go check out that. A lot of good stuff. And then if you want more of me and Daphne, of course, you can go listen to our Buffalo podcast, our other podcast with our friends Jeff and Jerry, taking a break from the breaking down TV and movies and pop culture and all that stuff, and instead quizzing each other on how little we know about it in some regards. With, all kinds of games and quizzes and ridiculousness, just trying to make each other laugh first and foremost. It's been a great time. We're just hanging out over there, being silly boys and girl.
Yes,
a good time.
We're having a great time most of the time. That reminds me, I have to get the game ready next week because it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to torture you with this time? I've got to come up with something. I'm sure I will.
And I finally found her kryptonite in a recent episode that isn't out yet, even by the time you hear this, but recent for us to record. It doesn't come out for a few weeks for you, but I think I found her kryptonite.
Oh, man. Don't tell anyone else. Rob and Joe don't need to know that that's my kryptonite.
But yeah, so if you want to go check that out, it's a good time. A lot of good stuff to listen to, but then, of course, next Friday, you can come right back here to Run for Your Lives, and we'll have something fresh and fun and new for you to check out. Daphne, what are we doing next week?
Well, a skeptical paranormal podcaster caring for her dying mother begins investigating a series of mysterious audio recordings that appear to document a young couple's terrifying encounter with a demonic presence. We are discussing Ian Toison's 2026 film, Undertone. Podcasting and the paranormal. What could be better?
Exactly. Yeah. Another newer one from this year that a lot of people have been talking about. So I know you guys love the newer movies. We love the newer movies when we get a chance to do them. So this one has been on the docket for a while. So we're excited to finally get to it. Undertone.
Yes. And with that, we've reached the end of another terrifying episode of Run for Your Lives. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And if you have to run, you better run for your lives.
Bye-bye.